They told him he might never walk properly again. They told him cricket, the game he had built his life around since boyhood, was over. The words hung in the air like a verdict. Any other player might have looked away, broken, defeated. But Rishabh Pant, he just looked at the doctors, let a faint smile stretch across his bruised face and replied, quietly but firmly, "I'll be back." What followed is not just a comeback, it is a resurrection. The story of a man who fought death on a lonely highway, who battled through pain in complete silence, and who now is fighting his way back into the heart of world cricket. December 30th, 2022. A cold winter morning. Pant was driving from Delhi to Roorkee, a simple trip, just a few hours on the road. He wanted to surprise his mother for New Year's. The streets were quiet, the air still, almost frozen. And then, in less than a heartbeat, everything turned to chaos. His Mercedes slammed into a divider at high speed. The metal crumpled like paper. A wall of flames burst from the engine. Inside, Rishabh Pant was bleeding, his legs screaming in agony. Every breath hurt. Every second felt longer than the last. But somehow, against every human instinct to freeze, he pulled himself out of the wreckage before the flames consumed it whole. Later, witnesses would shake their heads and say, "We couldn't believe he was alive." He was rushed to the hospital. The scans revealed the damage, torn ligaments in his knee, multiple deep cuts and burns. His face swollen and battered from the impact. The verdict was merciless. You'll walk again, but cricket, maybe not. For most, that would be the end of the road. The book would close with a line of regret. A career cut short. But for Pant, this was the start of a new chapter. One far more difficult than anything he had faced on the pitch. Rehab began. Days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months. At first, he couldn't even bend his knee. He couldn't stand without help. The boy who once danced down the pitch to smash spinners for 6 now struggled to take 3 unsteady steps. Pain became his constant training partner. But here's the thing about Pant. From the dusty streets of Haridwar to the blinding glare of the Gaba, he had never known the meaning of give up. The first 3 months were brutal. While his teammates played under the bright lights of the IPL, Pant sat in a physiotherapy room in Mumbai. Every cheer from the crowd was a reminder of what he had lost. But instead of letting it crush him, he used it. Every time his knee refused to move, he whispered to himself, "Gaba, Sydney, Headingley, remember." Moments where he had defied the impossible. And if he could do it once, he could do it again. By mid-2023, he was walking without crutches. By the end of that year, jogging. But cricket? That was still far away. Keeping wickets is more than just catching balls. It's squatting, bending, exploding into movement. Exactly the things his knee hated. So Pant rebuilt himself, not just physically, but mentally. He learned patience, and in learning patience, he discovered a new weapon. March 2024. For the first time since the crash, Pant picked up a bat. It felt strange in his hands. The stance felt off. The footwork was clumsy. But then, he connected. One clean middle, then another, and then that signature flick over mid-wicket. The sweet sound of leather meeting willow whispered to him, "You're still you." When Pant stepped back into competitive cricket during IPL 2024, the world watched in anticipation. Was he still the same fearless striker? Could he still squat for 50 overs behind the stumps? The first games were rusty, mistimed shots, dropped catches. The doubters smirked, "He's finished." And then, one electric night in Delhi, he erupted. 4 towering sixes in 2 overs. The trademark grin returned, and the crowd roared, not with pity, but with awe. This was more than just a comeback. It was proof that the human spirit can rise from fire. Today, Rishabh Pant is not just a cricketer. He's a symbol. A reminder that injuries may break your body, but they cannot break your will. From the ashes of a burning car to the roar of 50,000 fans, he has shown the world that the greatest innings are not played under floodlights, but in the fight to stand there again. So the next time you see him take guard in blue, remember, you're not just watching a wicketkeeper batter, you're watching a man who stared at the end and chose to begin again.